Okay. I know you've read or heard about that game, movie, or comic, blah, blah, but you haven't heard it from us. So chill, relax, let us talk all about it before you log off.
What's up, everybody? Sir Aaron Carter here again with Emma Skies.
Hello.
You know, you don't change your intro, do you?
You know what? I don't need to be attacked like this, okay?
I'm just saying.
Tired.
I'm just saying. Maybe a smile would help.
I will murder you and take your hand.
Speaking of murder, everybody, we're talking about Cloak and Dagger today. Of course, episode 9, entitled...
Got one left.
I know. Oh, my God. Entitled Blue
The
Note?
penultimate episode right here.
What do you mean, ultimate episode?
No, the penultimate episode.
What does that mean?
Means the second to last.
Nobody uses that word. You know that, right?
It's from a book.
Okay, cool.
I read it in a book, and now I say it all the time.
Penultimate. Stop it. Anyway.
The penultimate peril. That's what I got it from.
All right. So that's not what this episode is called. It's called Blue Note.
Should be called penultimate peril.
And we start 96?
96 months ago.
96 months ago, which we all know is like 2 years.
You know what it's like? It's like those parents where like you ask them like, how old is your kid?
Oh,
and they're like,
thank
he's
you.
72 months.
Thank
and I'm like,
you.
shut up.
Thank you so much. I hate that so much. When a kid,
like your
I swear.
stupid kid is 4 or
I'm
whatever.
like, don't tell me the months, because I'm not going to calculate that in my head, and I'm going to think your kid is like 1. So who cares? Jeez.
You're like, your kid is 8 years old, and you're like, he's 96 months.
No, stop it. That's the most irritating thing, parents. So, anyway, Cloak and Dagger.
8 years ago is where we start.
Is that what that was? Didn't do the calculation. Yes. 8 years
96
ago.
96 months is 8 years.
Despair, Andre Chikatilo?
Duchesne.
Okay, Duchesne. That's a killer.
How do we go through this every week?
Ooh, that's a serial killer. He is in a jazz club, and he's backstage with one of his, I guess his drummer. And he's talking about how he's going to hit the blue note tonight, and the audience is going to love it, and this is going to send him into the history books, and he's going to be in that rack with all the famous musicians. And he starts,
because he is recording this performance on vinyl.
Yes, that's how all musicians record their things. Is
what
vinyl.
His drummer's making fun of him for.
Yeah, I mean, it's old school, but it's good. It's retro. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
he says, if you want to be remembered as a god, you got to start acting like a god. And apparently that means be pretentious.
That is a precursor to how he's going to act when he gets a little bit of power. That's what that's going to be.
Uber pretentious.
Very, very much so. He goes out on stage, starts playing his show. Everything's going all right until he tries to hit that blue note. And lo and behold, the headaches start.
Lo and behold.
All right, we're not here for that. We're not here. We're not going to do anything like that. That's terrible. That's terrible. But actually, I had a question whenever he got his headache there. I was like, is that how he got his power? Or is it just the strain from the trying to hit that note that gave him the
so that's what triggered his migraines. That's what started his migraines off, which is what I thought it was interesting that like he's recording that moment on vinyl because like that's like an homage to how he will then experience everybody else's trauma on vinyl, and like his first trauma was on his own vinyl, and that was a nice little.
See, that's why it makes me think that there's higher beings interfering with all this type of stuff. Like, come on, like that's just too convenient. Like he's recording on vinyl, and then that's how he's gonna use his ability and stuff like that. Like I feel like.
Because it's all in his head, so I think that's all just how he builds it. Like, he builds that place in his own mind, regardless of whether he realizes or not. So if he wasn't into vinyl, it would look like something else.
Gonna say Dormammu's involved, but we'll find out. We'll find out. So after his feigning on stage, we go back to Cloak and Dagger, who are having their kind of one-on-one on trying to figure out how to find Despair, because the Vevey technique that Ty uses so often does not work for some reason on this time.
Before we go entirely back to them, we do see him in his current area, by him I mean Despair, in his current like record store, and you can see that he has Melissa Bowen as one of his.
Yeah, they flashed past
now.
Tandy's mom, and Tandy's mother is in the bin, right?
That's terrible, but yes, she's in the bin.
So I mean, what else would I call it? That's what I saw. So I mean, there it is. So yeah, we see all him going through the records and stuff like that, and they flash past Tandy's mom, but she wasn't there. And then Cloak and Dagger, they're trying to figure out how to find him. Ty has an idea that he says he has to do on his own, but he doesn't want to leave Tandy there and her.
But not that much, because then he immediately leaves her alone. He's like, I can't leave you alone. And then 30 seconds later, he leaves her alone.
I'm sorry. She literally just said, if you ask me about my feelings, I'm literally going to kill you. So it's
but
like.
He had the right idea. Like, she just had some traumatic shit. He's like, you shouldn't be alone right now.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, she's just telling him, she's like, I'm okay. She's throwing herself into the work.
Not. She is not okay.
What did you want him to do? Just stay there and, just, like, talk about their feelings? No.
Take her somewhere she'll be safe.
He couldn't take her
alone.
We'll see later. He could not take her with him.
I'm just saying.
So he goes off on his thing.
He leaves her with a big old mess. So maybe that's what he was like. If I leave the Vivay and all the powder here, she'll be so she'll have to spend all this time cleaning it up. So by the time I'm done,
wow,
leaves all that shit right there for her to clean in her house.
Wow. I don't even think they clean it. I think she just bounces after that. So now where are we at? We're at Tandy goes to Mayhem. And she, that's, I guess, going to be her angle of finding where Andre is. They had their little back and forth. I guess Mayhem was like, she didn't want her around. But, of course, Tandy is like, you're not going to stop me. So she goes on a ride along with her, basically. And they're talking about the victims that have been helped and how they're kind of in a weird state where they're humming all the time.
Yeah, she's like, it's like a Charles Manson thing where like they're fighting to get out of custody or out of whatever facility that they're in. They're humming all the time. They're trying to get back to him. Super weird. Super weird.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll touch more on it later, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And I was thinking more of like a Pied Piper type of thing situation.
Okay.
Maybe, he's got that type of control over him, something like that. But I don't know. But they show up on a crime scene where Leia is on the side of the road.
Because apparently you can just walk up to an active crime scene with some random teenager.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody questions
People do it all the time. You've never done that?
It's like, yeah, take your niece to work day. She's here to see some shit.
Actually, the more confusing thing is she was calling the shots. She was like, you guys can't put her in that ambulance. It's going to be, traumatic for her. And then she was like, yeah, no. Tandy was like, yeah, she's coming with us. And I was like, excuse me? Like, where's your badge? Who are you, first of all? Like, nobody knows who you are.
So you want to see a badge? And then she pulls out a light dagger and shoves it in his eye.
That's terrible. And
she's in that mode. She's in that mode.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tandy was a little murderous. Because in the car, she was talking about murdering Leia. And
right in front of her.
Yeah. And I'm like,
right in front of her. Like, she's asleep. I can talk about this.
This is a little bit, I don't like this mayhem stuff that's going on with Tandy over here trying to kill people.
Yeah, it's fine. We all go through phases.
No, we don't go through murderous phases. What phase have you gone through? Okay? Murderous phases. You gotta take
some time and find yourself.
No, you don't find yourself through killing other people. How dare you?
Well, how do you know if you don't try?
That's terrible. And I don't know if I hope you know this is all being recorded, and I am not going to be a witness.
I'm just going to say, I know that I don't want to kill people.
Ooh, we're going to move right along to a flashback where Despair is wandering the streets and he leaves his trumpet.
Now it is 92 months ago.
Yeah. That was a weird jump from
7
96.
years and 8 months.
So he lives his stuff in the middle of the street. He's got, headaches going on. Excuse me, migraines going on. And
best song of the whole episode right here.
Which was that?
I don't know, but like whatever song was playing in the background was really good.
I didn't really even pay attention to the song in the background.
How dare you?
I'm a visual person. So like the visuals were really, striking, him leaving his love behind in an alleyway. Like, I'm
just saying the whole thing where like he is all about sound and audio and music. And like, so when he's on screen, I feel like I should pay attention to the sounds.
My eyeballs,
trying to read a little bit into it, but if you just want to be like, yeah, it's visuals, whatever I can see. The visuals, well, that's whatever.
The things that were, sticking out to me. So whatever. Let's see. He left it behind. Ty calls his mother. And Yeah. So
Mama's got some explaining to do.
Ty is off on his own doing his thing, trying to set up his way to find despair, but he calls his mom to check in on things. And
Fine.
yeah, Ty's mom straight up lies to him. Like,
To be fair, she does not lie to him. Never says that he's alive. She never says she didn't kill him.
she said, "How is he?"
And she said he's tying up some loose ends or something like that.
Or he said no. He asks, "How is she? How is he?" She says, "He's I guess like coming out with he's explaining things or whatever. He's tying things together. You can't explain things when you're dead.
He's tying things together by being dead.
Well,
and she is burning evidence in her own home, which I feel like is a really bad idea.
Bloody evidence, by the way, which Ty sees through the window. So somebody ain't slick anymore.
He's just like, you know what? I don't got time for this. We will deal with this later.
And that's weird, yeah, that he just leaves it be. Like, oh, I don't know. And with one more episode left, like, are we going to see some of that come out, or is it just going to be left? Oh man, I don't know. So she's burning things. She's lying to her son. He looks concerned, but yeah, he's got a mission that he's got to do. Tandy is back with Leia at the church where she tries to use her ability on her. And then you kind of get another view into what drained victims look like.
Yeah. Because Tandy sees hope, so she goes into Leah's mind and absolutely nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all. She's
black and static.
Exactly. The static didn't hit me the first time until the second time they kind of go back in there. But yeah, like the record static that's going on, it's just like it's the sunken place from Get Out or something like that.
Yeah, and then Tandy's like, all right, cool, we can't get anything from her, let's kill her.
Yeah, that was.
She's like, I'm on it.
I was just like, oh, what is going on with Tandy? Like, I understand she did something extremely horrible to you, like extremely horrible. She had you in that vegetated state. She was all ready to watch you, go through whatever you were going to go through. But like this killing thing, I was like, oh man, this is.
And Mayhem was the one to stop her, of all people.
That's what I wrote down too. I said Mayhem stopped her? ? I was like, that doesn't seem like a Mayhem. Is Bridget kind of getting a little, control over her or something like that?
That's what I'm excited is like now that they're one person, you get the best parts of both of them.
Yeah, the best
Instead
of both
just
worlds.
Getting two polar opposite.
And I think it was a good thing there. Then we switch back over to Ty meeting up with the street thug that found him and his mom a while back when they were on the run. And they have a little moment in the coffee shop. And then
they did.
We get some small cameos from the Netflix series of Luke Cage. And
I was so excited.
So Luke Cage is on just a newspaper
cover of some paper,
sitting in front of the kid. And the kid, I guess, he cannot read, so all he can do is look at the pictures. But the article was written by
by my baby girl, Karen Page.
And I knew as soon as I saw that before Emma's did, I was like, she's gonna love this right here.
I was so happy. That's all this show needed to do was mention my baby girl's name once, and I'm like, I'm on it. I'm on board. This is the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. And they didn't have to, which is weird too, because nobody reads the thing and be like, oh.
They did it just for me. It was just for me. Joe Pakaski was like, you know what, Emma, this is for you.
Wow.
I love her so much.
Because when he read it, I was just like,
glad to know that she's still doing well. She's still working. She's still writing. My baby girl is still killing it.
Nationwide too, because like they're in New Orleans. That's
girl.
That's a big stuff. So Ty gets the kid to help him, kind of put him back on the right track. He's gonna be a hero one day. You never know. We'll see. He just has to learn how to read first. And then we go back to Despair.
92 months ago.
92 months ago.
I actually wrote in the notes 92 months ago. I hate this. So stupid.
He's on top of like a tall structure, and he's lost everything. So he's like,
with the most dilated pupils I have ever seen in my life.
Wow, you paid attention to that, huh?
What's that?
You saw that?
Yeah, his pupils were super dilated.
I must have looked down for a split second or something like that. I didn't see that. So
It was, I don't know if it was intentional or if it was just the actor's eyes in that scene. I was just like, am I supposed to
maybe
see
it
that?
was
Is that important?
maybe it was the drugs. Because
What
remember,
drugs?
we go on later. Remember later in the episode with the drug dealers and stuff. I mean, that's kind of how he finds them, right?
What?
The drugs. We'll get to it. We'll come back.
I'm so confused.
I'll put a freaking pin in this, and then as soon as we get to that part,
I don't understand.
So anyway, right before he jumps off, the explosion goes off, and I guess he falls off the structure anyway, and does not kill himself. So I'm guessing, like, were you supposed to kill yourself before? I mean, I don't understand what was going to be the difference. You failed, right? So, all right.
Well, I think it's just like, maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't, but like that choice was taken away from him because he just fell.
Yeah, but like, if the height wasn't high enough to kill him just from a fall, then like,
I see.
I'm
Well,
like,
he probably didn't know that.
Well, he knows now because he broke a whole bunch of ribs, and he was in the hospital where we first see that this is the first time he meets Leia.
Evangelia Dewan.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
I believe so.
Was not going to even try.
I'm just really glad they put that in there because it makes me feel a lot better about the way they spelled Leah.
Oh, with the Lia or whatever?
Lia. I was like, who the fuck?
I've always been spelling her name Leah.
Yeah.
That's how I've always spelled it. Yep, that's how I've always spelled it. She's a nurse though, and she's talking to him, and she's kind of getting him to, I guess, fess up about the suicide a little. And she makes the unfortunate accident of touching him, and that's when he kind of gets his first taste of his abilities from coming out of the water or whatever. Oh, actually, did he fall in the water? I thought they said they found him on the beach, right?
No, she said there were people on the beach who probably saw him fall into the water.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Because that's how Tandy and Ty got their powers. They were in the water when the explosion went off.
True.
That's how he got his powers. He was in the water when it went off.
So he gets transported to the record shop, and inside the record shop there's nothing. There's no, like, all those bins are empty. The walls.
That was a shot.
Yeah. When I saw that too, I was like, this brother has been doing it for a while.
Yeah, so he's been doing this for 8 years consistently, and like looking at how much, because we've only ever seen it full.
I thought he's been doing it for like 92 months. What are you talking about?
I hate you.
So all the bins are full now because we've seen previous episodes, and the walls on the back, in the background and everything had records and everything hanging out. And I was just like, geez, man, like, slow down. So wait, 8 years? Okay, never mind. They're about the same age. Because I'm trying to think, like, when Tandy and Ty got their abilities and stuff like that. So okay. Anyway.
Yeah, for some reason, we still don't really know why. For some reason, theirs only manifested 8 months ago.
Yeah. Well, maybe because he's an adult. So
yeah,
maybe he kind of figured it out a little, maybe they did have showings, but they didn't know as children, and they probably ignored it or something like that. Ty comes back to the church though when he sees Tandy and Mayhem, and they're with, Tandy, or Mayhem is, cleaning her gun, and Tandy is just kind of pacing around Leia's unconscious body. And so she tells him, like, hey, there was no hope inside of her or whatever. There's a void, I think, but there's a door inside of her.
And he doesn't want to go, but whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Ooh, I didn't even get that.
What is wrong with you, fake fan?
How dare you? First of all,
fake fan.
How dare you? But that's said multiple times throughout the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, damn it, missed opportunities. So
you're horrible.
So they go inside of Leah.
That's awful.
That's unfortunate.
They go in Leia's mind.
Yeah, I guess that's what you call it. Her mind and
consciousness.
There you go. And they go inside the door, and they say the first time that Despair and Leia are first time Despair is coercing Leia to leave her life and join him to do whatever. Like I didn't even really get, like, he said, he was going to give her music back, quote unquote. But like, I don't get what that meant.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of the point, is like he never had any intention. He didn't have to follow up on anything because that was never the point.
There was definitely some game being ran on her, and she was just feeding right into it.
Yeah, because he gives her the classic abuser lines. You care about me, don't you? I need you. Like, you have to do this. You know, if you cared about me, you would do this.
Yes. Yeah. And it was just like all written on the wall. She wasn't really giving any answers back. She was just kind of taking it all in.
And he's isolating her from her family.
Exactly.
She says, you know, I could do this to my dad. And, you know, if he really loved you, he wouldn't care. Like, it would be fine.
Yeah. I was looking at that. I was just like, oh man, these are all the signs. Definitely all the signs right out there. So where Ty wants to go back, Tandy's like, no, we need to go further. And they find another door, of course. They go through it, and you see a young Leia playing the cello in front of, I'm guessing, what is her mother and father at like a recital or something like that. Yes. I guess it's just a memory because there's like nobody else in the audience or anything like that. It's just those. It's just a good, happy moment. I don't see anybody else in the
audience, but then when she's done playing, there's like very clearly a lot of people applauding.
Yeah, so it must just a representation of a good memory in her, you know, in her life where she got to actually play music, which she probably loves to do, and then she focused on her mother and father in the audience right there. Like it was a good moment for her.
Yeah.
So Tandy goes and takes the her I was gonna say notebook, her music book,
her sheet music,
and says it's, you know, to help a friend out. Which actually, do we even see that just yet? Like, I don't think it comes up after this.
Well, because that's when we kind of see, if I believe, because this is where I have reissues written down. So I believe this is where we see Despair looking through Leah's records, or the only one that he has at this point, which is that.
Yeah, that.
And we see that it's labeled under reissue.
And it's the same like look on it. It has the sky blue with the little rainbow sticker on there and everything like that. So you know it's kind of the same one. He takes that vinyl out. He starts playing it. Right when I guess Ty and Tandy are on their way back out, but they're discussing. I think they're talking about something. Or what did he say? He's like, "What are you doing, Tandy?" Ty asks him, and then Despair is right there, and he's like, "Yeah, what are you doing, Tandy?" And I was like, "Man, he's right there, people. He is right in the same space as you guys." And Tandy tries to attack. You know, good on her. I'm glad somebody tried to attack. Mm-hmm. But she was like, we're in her mind. Like, this is kind of a, you know, we don't control anything. This is all her. This is all Leia. And then he goes right into his bad guy monologue.
Yes.
And I was
his villain speech, this is my grand plan speech.
I loved it. I loved the whole thing. I was like, yes, speak everything right now. Give me the whole plot. What do you want to do? Where are your henchmen going? Give me everything. And he talks about the whole thing about he wants a big crowd. He wants to become a god. He needs an
audience to hit a blue note, become a god.
Yes. I was just like, this is what I like. This is the campy comic book type of over explanation. You don't have to tell these people nothing. You don't need to tell your plan.
Well, like he gives them his motive as well. He says, I wrote it down. He says, I'm done being warped, done being in pain. Finally time to cash in for others to share my pain.
And then he talks about them, about, you know, hey, I've had these powers for, you know,
8 years,
92 months, and
hate you.
And wait till you guys have had that much, you know, time with your powers and see what you become. And I was just like, oh man,
that was a good one.
That's definitely a good line right there. And then it reminds me of, like I said, the comic books that I've been reading for them. I don't know. Did you read any of them that I sent you?
Not yet.
So it just kind of reminds me of one of the comic books they're doing where, like I said, they kind of get jaded with being superheroes, or at least Tandy does, you know, because it's been so long that they've been doing the same old thing: save the world, you know, fight the bad guy, blah blah blah. So I'm like, oh man, like this is like hitting different layers for me, definitely, from reading the comic books to seeing it on screen and stuff like that. I love that whole scene right there, like that whole super villain monologue. Loved it.
Yeah.
So
and apparently from that from what he said, she gets that the whole city's in danger, and I was like, bitch, where?
I mean, if he wants a grand audience, what makes you think he's going to stop at just like 12 people?
But then what makes you think he's going to stop at the city? Why not the whole country? Why not the whole world?
No, because New Orleans is all they care about right now.
Uh-huh.
That's all they care about.
Then we go 85 months back. It literally in my notes says 85 months. Come on.
you gotta break it down that way so people understand.
Jesus.
You gotta break it down that way.
So this, we get to see when they started the shelter and how he used it to keep a constant supply of traumatized women to give his pain to over and over again under the guise of helping them.
Flooded them in.
Holy shit.
And then Leia's just standing
That's a
by
villain.
watching too. She's just watching. He's like handshaking every single one that comes through the door. And it's just like, okay, you see how he built this whole, library of music, in his, his mind or whatever to feed off the despair of everybody. I wrote down, I'm like, he only does it to women, it looks like.
Of course he does.
I'm like, this is kind of jacked up to a high degree, isn't it? Like, yeah,
What else did he do?
I'm just saying, I'm like, yeah, there's men with despair as well that he could have fed off of, but he straight up just went straight all women or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So his door's locked. I forgot to say that. And when he was in there for the first time, he sees all the empty bins and everything like that with Leia, and his door with the Vevey on there is locked. So it was good to see that they kept the continuity up on that, even though I can't remember what it looked like in the beginning if he had that on there in earlier episodes, but whatever. Let's see. Goes the door. Ty wants to go back to Tandy. Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
So Ty starts his ambush at this point.
They teleport out. Oh yeah, that's right, because when they teleport out, that's when Ty leaves and he starts his ambush. I love this montage again.
Yes, it's such a good moment for my boy.
He starts swooping in, taking out bad guys, kidnapping bad guys. His Batman scene when he just like
lands on the table in front of that guy.
It lands on the table and he's like, you know who I am and you know what I can do. Dude goes for his gun, he just pushes it away, grabs him and disappears. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm excited for this. I like this type of stuff. And then
then we have this kind of paralleled with Tandy and Mayhem, who are back at the church with Leah.
Yeah.
And as far as Mayhem's concerned, like, they've gotten what they needed out of her, and she's like, let's kill the girl and leave.
Yeah.
And having seen what they've seen now, Tandy's a little bit more on her side, a little bit more like, okay, this wasn't entirely your fault. There was some trauma at play here. I can understand that. And she is suddenly protecting Leah.
Yeah, she sees that she was a victim too. She wasn't like just a willing participant or whatever. She was literally the first victim of despair. So they get into a fight. Tandy and Mayhem. They go at it.
They have they're fighting and Tandy's kind of getting her ass handed to her. But in the middle of that, they're kind of having a really deep conversation about how, even if you have taken your trauma and used it to put that trauma on other people or take it off of yourself and put it onto somebody else, like, you're still a victim and you still deserve your own help, regardless of what you've done. And, that was a good moment for the two of them, especially for Tandy coming to that realization.
Yeah, and I'm glad that
while she's getting her ass kicked.
Well, I mean, now that negative influence is out of her life, because they kind of ended with them both at each other's throat with their their weapons, the hand claw that Mayhem has and the light dagger that Tandy has. So they end on a stalemate, and then Mayhem is like, anything she does, talking about Leia, after this, like, it's on you, like, because you're letting her live or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but more importantly, because it was way more badass in my opinion, we got this Ty scene that keeps going.
Oh yeah, Ty was full blown Batman and everybody.
He was killing it. He throws a man off a roof.
Yes, he doesn't let them talk.
He does the full Falcon.
Yes, it was a great moment because it was just like, you're here to listen to me, not here to talk. You're here to listen to me. Because when they try to throw it back, he just instantly pushes one off the roof, disappears, grabs him back up, and like, he keeps doing that. Anytime they try to say something back to him, he's like, hey, it's not about that. He was like, anybody
this is not a negotiation. I don't care about your business. Exactly. Things are going to change.
He's like, anybody that comes to you looking for that drug stuff or whatever, that's on them, because he can't stop everybody. If they want to do that, they want to do that. But you're not pushing it on just any old body. Like, it's he's telling them, hey, it's either you stop what you're doing or you're dealing with me. And I'm like, this is okay. All right.
Such a moment for Ty, and I'm so proud of my boy.
He's definitely grown up. a lot over the seasons, and I like that. I like how they played his character on this one. But then he also gets a little more information from them while they're in their scared state on the location of despair. Which, why is he doing that?
Because that's the whole point.
Okay, but how do the drug dealers know where he is?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe because they sold him drugs?
I would assume.
Maybe that's why his eyes were the way they were.
Oh, I see.
Had to bring it all the way around.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Why were his eyes dilated 96 months ago?
Because he was taking drugs 96 months ago. I mean,
we don't know. It didn't show us that. It didn't say that.
Well,
he wasn't despair yet.
He was depressed. I mean,
I'm just saying. They didn't show it.
I put those two together once you said eyes were dilated. I was like, okay, maybe then he was on drugs back then, clearly, and the drugs weren't working. If you got migraines, clearly you're going to be taking drugs to try to get rid of those migraines, right?
But you'd think they would have shown something like that.
But they didn't. You got to put two and two together. And I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments will be like, oh, actually, they did say something like that. So whatever. So they find out that he was going to be at this jazz club. And so as soon as, Tandy rushes Leia to the hospital to try to get her help in some type of way. And Ty teleports right there, who's got apparently, I can track Tandy anywhere she goes down, locked, because he didn't know she was going to be at that hospital, but he just showed up.
That's my boy.
And he's like, I got the location. Let's go do this. And so when they go to the location where they believe he's going to be, they have another good moment in there where Tandy's thinking that, like once we find him, like if he wants to become this big god or whatever, and he wants to take over the whole city, or he wants to feed off the whole city, we've got to put him down. Like, and I'm the only one with,
I'm the one with the weapons.
Exactly. I'm the one with the weapons.
Like, what are you going to do? Blow smoke in his face?
Exactly.
I'm the one that's going to have to kill him.
So he's like, no, this is both our burden. Like, if we do this together, He says whatever it takes again, too. Man.
Yeah, he says, if we have to kill him, we do it together. And I said, my note is, he doesn't want that burden on her, and then a crying emoji.
Wow.
My boy.
There's another good moment between them two. And then they go into the location where they think he is. They see it's a jazz club, but it's not the right jazz club because it's the right jazz club, wrong address. Because the old jazz club he played at had moved, I guess. So they kind of, Tandy gets on his case. These kids played you. You fucked up, basically. Yeah.
And now we have nothing. We have no leads. We don't know where he is, and we're screwed. But as they're walking out, they pass by a plaque that basically is memorializing the old club.
Yeah.
It says, this is Club Delight. I believe it was called now, but it's in dedication to the old Club Delight that burned down years ago at XYZ address.
And so they get it
very convenient.
That's where he's at. Yeah. It was definitely some, they had some, what do you call it? Ex machina that helped them, find out where he was. So that's fine. So they teleport to the new location, and you've got a horde of zombies humming the whole time. We even mentioned that Leia was humming in the backseat of the car when they, took her from the crime scene.
Yes, she was.
So the same type of humming that they were talking about the victims, that Mayhem was talking about the victims have been doing, you see a crowd full of people in front.
Dozens of women.
And there was a guy in there. I saw it. Because there was one dude at least that I saw in there. Hey. I saw a black dude in there. So he's Despair's in front of them all, playing his blue note, quote unquote, with a Vevey written on the ground that starts to light up. Our heroes show up and they're moving through the crowd, and all of a sudden Tandy sees Michaela, who she texted her earlier, didn't she?
Yeah, she texted her earlier to see if she was okay and never got a reply.
Yeah,
she called her mom, never got a reply, and we see why now.
Because her mom is in the crowd of zombies, humming right along with everybody.
And so they are, let's get this right, okay? They're in this horde of zombie women here, and man.
And man.
While he is playing clearly building up to what he, his blue note, which they just understand something's happening.
Yeah.
And they're just like leisurely like, oh, who are you? Oh, who are you? He is 10 feet in front of you. Please do something.
I thought the same thing too. But the only thing, I only gave it leeway because Tandy's mom was there. When she saw her mom, I'm like, okay, she can get distracted. But Ty was still like, no, he's here. We need to do something. So he's playing his note, and then Ty's like, Tandy, throw a dagger at me. And I was like, superhero moment here, everybody. Let's watch this. So she throws a dagger into him, and he teleports it right in front of Despair and hits him.
They unlocked a new move.
Yeah, exactly. That's a combo move. Like, that is so dope. So freaking dope. So he hits him right in the chest, right as he's about to finish, I guess, his set, and he knocks over Despair. But you see that it was a little too late. Because then we transport to Despair.
We hadn't wandered around looking at Michaela for so long.
She was worried about them. So she, in Despair's mind, we see that his door now is unlocked, opening to like a concert hall or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can see there's a lot of people behind that. So it must be some type of representation of like, you're on the next level, yes. And all these things are like the potential people that could be.
So one might say that we spent this episode building up to him becoming a god, and that we will spend the next episode defeating him.
I'm glad that I said that last episode. And came up with that.
How dare you? How dare you? Exactly what I predicted. I'm a genius.
Wow.
I could have written this show. I should be hired.
Wow.
I'm amazing.
Somebody's feeling themselves.
Please play that back last week. My prediction that was exactly this episode.
I mean, if I can find it, I don't know if it's, anywhere out there. You think that it's going to be not him, but Aloha that they're going to be fighting, as opposed to just him in.
I think it's him as Aloha. I think it's his, it's still him.
Okay.
He's just a god at that point.
Ooh. Okay.
One of those where you thought you were fighting something difficult before.
Like.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh
okay.
no. It'll be one of those fake outs where they get to him and they defeat him, but then you find out he's Aloha and we just didn't know it. He opened the door and we didn't know it, so they didn't actually defeat him.
I'm cool. I'm good with it.
I'm predicting that's how it's gonna go. I'm amazing.
So anyway, so he goes through the door, of course, and then instantly everybody disappears in the real world.
Yeah. He's gone. Everybody else that was in his captive audience is gone. Tandy and Ty are the only ones left in that area. And
I wonder why they weren't, affected by his playing, though. I understand the mom was, sad and depressed and everything like that, but she had never come in contact with him at all. They both have. That we know of. Oh, yeah, I guess that they know of.
I mean, he had records of her.
Oh, you know what? Yes, she did. She was in the freaking group meeting, wasn't she? She was in with Leia, though.
Of course. But, I mean, that doesn't mean that she probably bumped into it at some point.
Yeah. Because she didn't know about Despair Tandy didn't know about Despair then just yet.
Yeah, and I mean, he had the record that was, the alcohol and the pills, and so we can assume that he either went to her, hunted her down, or knew her at some point.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, all right. So everybody's gone. Ty and Tandy are still just left there with what just happened, and then you start to hear trumpet music playing. Yeah, you start to hear his playing, and they don't know where it's coming from, and you get it's
coming from everywhere,
because you get a pan of the city where it's just everybody can hear this now, and I'm like, okay, level 2.
Here we go.
It's on to the big boss battle, and they just end the episode right there. And of course they flash the suicide hotline number on there just in case anybody needs help, which is a good thing, of course. Another heavy subject that they wanted to I guess bring light to, and they handled it very well. So
one more episode.
One more episode. Yeah. This is the last one. We got the big bad at full power. We got the good guys and their combos locked down, so they're good to go.
We got room for one more legendary move to unlock next episode.
Perhaps. So is that your small prediction that they're going to do some type of?
I think there's going to be another big move unlocked.
I want to know, how do they actually fight this thing that they can't see anymore? Now it's just kind of this.
Well, I'm sure he's still going to manifest.
And then what new tricks does he have as well? Like, can he control people? Can he? Ugh. I'm excited though. This was a really good episode. Of course, I don't know. This whole season has just been one episode. I swear, if they pull a Game of Thrones in this last episode, it's just garbage. I will be upset. I will be
Bran Stark rolls into New Orleans.
I would be very, very upset. But I don't think they're going to do that because this has just been one
consistently good season.
Yeah, like consistently. I don't think there was any low points at all for this whole time. And what is this? 10 episodes?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the sweet spot. Maybe that's what it needs to do. Maybe they need to shorten seasons up to about, about 9 or 10 or something like that. Maybe
or lengthen your seasons to 10.
I mean, I'm just saying they don't always have to do that. Because, I mean, they lengthened the episodes of what you're speaking of, and that didn't help. So
I'm salty about it.
Anyway.
But not about Cloak and Dagger, because it's really good.
It's very, very good. And so next week, it'll be the last episode. We don't have to wait too long.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
It'll be the last episode, because we're recording late. My apologies.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, life gets in the way, That's what happens. But it's...
I got to go have a fun weekend.
Yeah, you did. So that's it. Everybody, we'll see you. I don't know what. When do you think we're going to record the next one?
We probably record it Friday.
All right.
Let's record it Thursday after the episode.
No, we can't. We can't.
Get it right up.
We can't do that.
Why? Wait, no.
I record something on Friday.
That's what I'm saying. Thursday.
Oh, you want to do it Thursday?
Right after the episode. Let's watch it live.
Okay.
Right after the episode.
Nothing happening this Thursday, right?
Don't hold me to this. We'll figure it out.
Yes. So thank you again, Emma.
You're welcome. And you're welcome for my genius predictions that are always correct.
That is not always correct. How dare you? How dare you?
Legendary move coming next episode.
All right, everybody. See you later.